So sorry I'm a few minutes late. Sundays, I have a caregiver who comes in and watches my son for a couple hours so I can get things done, get out of the house, do whatever I have to do. And she signs out at 4 o'clock. So sorry I'm a few minutes late. Give me a second here to get together. Hello, Lisa. It's Joey's World. Hello. How are you guys today? I hope you're having a good day. Can you hear me all right? Let's see. Am I talking? Yeah, I'm talking, probably a little soft. I can turn it up though. And there we go. I am branching out today. We have two cameras going. I have my camera here, and I'm sorry the quality is a little lower on this camera. I'm still working on my setup, but and then I have my craft cam, which I'll show you once we get started. Give everybody a few minutes because I know I was late. And okay, yeah, you can hear me now? Okay, good. Glad to see you here. I hope you guys have had a wonderful day. It was so nice seeing Joey this morning on Myers and the Mouse, Mama Mouse's Craft and Chat Sunday edition. I always enjoy seeing Joey. He always makes me smile, makes me happy. You'll excuse me, it's a little warm in here. And like I said, I just sat down. I hear myself. There we are. Alright, close that one. Whoops. There we go. Oh, I think I just got the notification that I'm live. A little disorganized today, but we'll get it together. Like I said, my caregiver leaves at 4 o'clock, and it's 4:05 now. I have to sign her out and everything. And yeah, that was my daughter messaging me saying I can't say the name that can't say the name. Liesel. Yeah. She's in a game, but she will be here later. And I'm going to go ahead and start because I have a feeling there'll be people who watch the replay. And so I'll do this for the replay. Healing through art. I have had a traumatic life. I've had a lot of trauma in my life. Who hasn't, right? And I never considered myself an artist at all. In, what was it, 7th grade, I took an art class, and I did okay with it. Everybody had to take it. It was one of the regular things. But I never really considered myself an artist. I'm a crafter. And about, I want to say 3 years ago, I resigned that I was going to be at home a lot because I take care of my son full time, and there's not much opportunities for us to get out of the house. So I went to the Dollar Tree and bought some art supplies and decided I was going to start doing stuff. And that's where, that's where these first couple of projects we're going to be working on. Well, I'm going to be working on. You're welcome to work on them if you like. Along with me, and I realized a lot about how art healed me. It helped me find that creative child inside who didn't have a childhood and play with the art and the stuff and not have any rules and not have any desired outcome. And that's pretty much my life philosophy these days is it's all about the journey. If you focus on the destination, if you focus on the outcome, you're actually focusing on feedback from other people and validation from other people. And you will never be satisfied because you won't be validating yourself. So the journey is learning to enjoy the process of creating art. I'll switch to the craft cam and start going through some supplies. Give me a moment here. Boy, these one-man shows. Whew, I tell you. Oops. Why is that the red camera? Ah! Okay, give me a second here while I fix this. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's been a long time finding how to do it. No, there it is. Oh, I know what to do. Here we go. All right, now we're on the craft cam. Hope you can see that all right. What I have down here first, most of my supplies, by the way, have come from the Dollar Tree. And I'm a thrift shopper. Dollar Tree and thrift store, that's where I get most of everything. And so this is a Dollar Tree cutting mat. It's thick plastic, it's flexible, but as you can see, I've got the paint stains on it. And then I mask it down to my table so it doesn't slide anywhere. And this is because, one, if you go off the edge of the paper, you're not doing it on your table. You can do this with a tablecloth, you can do it with newspaper, craft paper, whatever you want, but this is my surface. But also it has some scratches and things like that from where I've used a craft knife on it. So sometimes it can give an interesting texture underneath the paper. The next thing is, now I use two different things. Sometimes I use cardstock or cardboard, like for my packaging, like a cereal box, and we'll use those when we want thicker paintings. But for just having fun and being creative, this is a drawing pad from Dollar Tree. It says ideal for dry media, but I use it for paint too. And I've got a little trick that I do first that I'll show you. So I start with the piece of paper. It's helpful for me to tape it down. And by the way, my monitor is almost behind me, so I'll be looking back at the chat every now and then. But if you say something and I miss it, just give me patience. And the next time I look up, got some masking tape here, and I like to go and do the corners because the end result of these painty papers, and that's what I call them, painty papers, I use it in place of the designer scrapbooking paper you can buy for my projects, like I make cards and things, and sometimes I need a background and I don't have, well, especially these days, I don't have the ability to run to the craft store and pick up some paper, or, you know, and goodness knows I have a stockpile of paper. But I learned to make my own paper for that. And so, yeah, I should put what I'm doing up here. Yeah, I got two cameras going. I actually have two more cameras I can set up. So, but I'm still in the process. I've got half my craft stuff in the dining room and half my craft stuff in my bedroom. And my daughter will be coming down a few times, and we're going to be setting up spaces in each area because I have enough cameras now that I can set up a computer station out there and I can set up a computer station in here. Anyway, I just take that masking tape and I tape it down to my plastic so it doesn't slide. Things like that. Then the first thing I do, this is clear glue, but you can use school glue. You can use any kind of Dollar Tree glue. This is from the Dollar Tree. Any kind of glue, like Elmer's school glue or white glue. Any of those. I like the clear glue because that way it doesn't change colors on me. If you use the white glue when you're mixing paints into it, sometimes it can change the color of the paint until it dries, and sometimes it can leave white splotches. So I use the clear glue, And what I do, I buy it in big gallon jugs, and I mix it with water. This is about, I want to say 60% clear glue. Whoops, sorry. 40% water in a Dollar Tree container. And I'm going to take that and get one of my little handy dandy bowls. I bought these. These I think came from Michael's. But you can use any little plastic dishes or whatever you want. I'm making homemade gesso, if you want to know what I'm doing. And I'm going to put, I'm going to say maybe 2 tablespoons. Tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons of my glue water mixture. And I'm going to take, I've got this is from Dollar Tree, white premium acrylic paint from Dollar Tree, and I don't know that I've opened it yet. They all come sealed. If you open one and it doesn't have this little seal on it, then you will take it back because it's not good, and it might even have mold or other fungus inside of it. Alright. And you might hear my son in the background dancing around. And I'm going to put probably the same amount of paint that I put, and this is going to be too big a batch. Usually I mix this up beforehand, but I wanted to show you guys how I mix it. And I've got some water here that I'm going to put in my jar. This is my paintbrush jar. I like using it. Got a little water here. And I keep a little thing of water on my art table. There's the water in the jar. Take my brush. Actually, I think I'm just going to use this little spatula here. And as for my brushes, I got this set for $10 at Michael's, I think. And there's a few more brushes that go with it, but I never really use any of them but the great big one. I like the great big one. Because I do predominantly abstract art, so there isn't much fine detail. And I also use other things besides brushes. We'll get to that in a minute. There are lots of ways you can apply your gesso to your paper, and the reason I put this on here is, and I'm going to let it dry for a few minutes and I'll talk some more while I show you stuff, is it makes a good foundation for everything to stick to. This paper is very smooth, and you want to put something on it that's going, paint sticks better to paint than it does to smooth paper. So, and your hands are going to get messy. You can wear rubber gloves if you want. I love the feeling of the paint on me. So I'm going to take this, this brush. I'm going to take this and just slather it. Slather that gesso. In the end, you want a thin coat, but just starting out, and you see, because I have this mat underneath, I can go off the edge and it really won't matter. I'm not going to mess up my table, and the paint will just peel right off once it's dry. So we're going to, there. And I got little pieces of foil coming off my brush, going everywhere. Fix that. See, I am not a professional, folks. And that's my main goal for doing this show, is just, hi T. Marie, nice to see you. Azure Muse, yes, yeah, I will go over what's in the mix. And hi Tina, good to see you. And hi Aya, glad to see you. All right, what's in this mixture? This is homemade gesso. This is the way I make it. You don't have to make it this way. You can buy gesso. I've got plenty of it on here. I'm going to keep working it while I tell you what's in it. This is a mixture. First, I use clear glue, but you can use Elmer's white glue. You can use Walmart white glue. You can use Michael's white or clear glue. You can use whichever you like. I went a little rampant with that, didn't I? That's all right. And if you notice, the paper is going to buckle from the moisture. Don't worry about that. It'll dry. I'm going to set a fan on. Anyway, all right. Now that I've got that on there in a smooth coat, I will go ahead and tell you what's in it. I use 60% of the glue. It's clear glue, it's or white glue, school glue, all-purpose glue, liquid glue, PVC glue, PVA glue, that's what they call it. And I take and put it in a container, and I mix about 60% glue, 40% water. That makes it a little less gloopy. And then this one was about 3 tablespoons of glue and 3 tablespoons of paint. And you see I've got enough here to do, I don't know, that whole pad of paper. And let me grab a rag here. And that's homemade gesso. And I'm just going to sit it there and I'm going to let it dry while I talk about the rest of the supplies. Yeah, T Marie, you can make gesso. That's what gesso is, and I use it with my pour painting, which we're gonna have fun when we get to pour painting. Y'all all are gonna be pouring your own painting. It's so relaxing and so much fun. And people make the joke about watching paint dry. It can actually be therapeutic because you have to put on your patient's pants. And you learn how to be present because you have to wait for the paint to dry. And I'm going to get my fan up here. Pardon me a minute. A lot of people, when they make their gesso, they might also add, let me know if that's too loud. They might add talc powder. For a while, all I had was Dollar Tree version of Gold Bond powder, so I was using that. My gesso had a minty fresh smell, but they'll put I don't know, maybe 10% powder, some sort of talc powder, and that way when it dries, it has a powdery finish, and it will absorb the paint even more. And make it stick down. And we'll get into that when we get into using cardboard as our medium, our base medium, instead of light paper. Patience. I have big patience pants, trust me. My son takes all my patience. All right, so I showed you this. This is my white paint. You can get paints at Dollar Tree. You can get them at this is the Michaels cheap craft paint. This is the Walmart Apple Barrel brand. You can find this at Walmart 50 cents a container sometimes. They have it on sale. I buy big jugs of the paints at Michaels and put them in these little bottles. But if you notice, I don't have a whole lot of colors. You don't have to go buy every color on the shelf. I have a white, I have a black, and then I have the 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And you can make any color you need out of these 5 colors. Just trial and error. So those are the acrylic paints. And then I also have this palette of watercolors, and I do mix my watercolors and my acrylic paints. I've also something I like to do is use very dry brush, just damp enough to get the paint up, and it makes a thick paste. And then I'll lay a stencil down and put it in the stencil, and it gives it dimension, it gives it a little texture, because the texture of the watercolor is different than the texture of the acrylic. So those are the paints. This is a found item, and I use this for my palette because it's got plenty of little mixing wells, but I can also put my primaries in. Then we move to, like I said, my brushes. I got my brushes from Michaels but you can get them at the Dollar Tree. I would advise against getting really cheap ones because sometimes the hairs will come out and stick in your painting, and that's annoying to me. I got my little set of palette knives. I showed you the spatula, and then this one, it was a set of 3 at Dollar Tree. Another tool I like to use are these little coffee stirrers. You get a pack of 100 from the Dollar Tree, and I use them to blow. I'll put paint down and then I'll blow it around on the canvas or the paper. Let's see. Did I cover? I think I covered what was in the mix. Moving on. Something else, Dollar Tree. I use these little makeup sponges. They are good for making squares. If you want to make rectangles, you dip it in the paint, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. They're also good for cleaning up edges. You can also use them to spread paint wide ways, and I like them because they don't really absorb the paint. And also, they are real cheap. You get, how many? 28 for $1. So you can pitch them. You don't have to worry about cleaning. And with me, I don't like to spend a whole lot of time after I've spent so much time on a project. I hate cleaning, so I like things that I can just toss. And I know that's not eco-friendly, but it works for me. And then I have a stencil. And guess where I got this, folks? Bet you can't guess. If you said the Dollar Tree, you are correct. I got this at the Dollar Tree, and this one's a nautical one, but it works just fine. You put it down, and you, like I said, you get a thick paste with the watercolor. You can stipple it down, or you can use the acrylic paints. You can use stamp pads. You can use all sorts of stuff. Let me see. When we get into the mixed media collage, this is the first step. And then when we get into the mixed media collage, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm working on this set of sticks. And what these sticks are, these are prompts. And the way it'll go is we'll pick 10 prompts. And we'll do it over the space of an hour. You don't have to work quick. You don't have to get through all the prompts along with me in that hour. I will have them listed down in the video descriptions after the video, so you can go back and look. But we'll pick one, and it'll say a regular object. So we're going to use a regular object. And the color is up to me, whatever color I want to use. If you want to use the gesso for the background, and by the way, you don't always have to use white paint. If you want to start with a dark blue background, or then you would mix blue and the glue and then put that down, and that would be your background. For me, I'm just going to use the white gesso because I'm going to have some fun. So the first thing says take a regular object, and what I mean by that is, let's see, I will use regular object. Here we go. I have a business card. I have a business card. It's a little business card. I'm going to use my business card. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick out my paint color. And what color should we start with? I'll let you. First color I see in the chat, that's the color we'll start with. And it doesn't have to be one of the primaries. You can make all the colors out of these 3 colors. And while I'm waiting for a color to come through, I'll explain it to you. You have yellow and you have red. What's in between yellow and red? Orange. Moving on. You have red and you have blue. What's in between red and blue? Purple or violet. You have blue and you have yellow. What's in between blue and yellow? Green. And then if you want lighter shades or darker shades, You want to make brown? Use all three. That's part of the fun, is play. All right, Tina Marie said blue. We're going to use a regular household object, and we're going to use some blue. So I'm putting just a little bit of blue. You don't need a lot. Just a little bit of blue, and I'm going to take my regular object here, my card, and look, you know, I'm going to have to, well, let's make it even more interesting. We're going to take and fold it so we get kind of a V shape to it. And I'm just dipping it down in there and coating the whole bottom of the card. And then I'm going to like that. And because we're not attached to the outcome, because we are not allowing ourselves to make a picture in our head, we are just allowing the sticks to tell us how our art is going to go. And you can see this is not a difficult technique, not at all. Scrape up some paint. And there we go. I like that. And there we go. And I've used that's my regular object, and we'll put that right here. So we've used it. Easy as pie. I will keep that little bit of blue because I might decide to make some purple or some green later on. And then my household object, I'm going to stick it over here in the palette. All right. See how easy that is? Now, next one. Let's pick another one. Pick another stick. White. We've already got white. So we're going to set that one aside because we've already got white. And I'm going to use the brush. Use a brush. And since the next color, Azure Muse had said use green, so we're going to take a brush. Let's see, what kind of brush do we want? A big brush or a little brush? See, that's why I don't like having a lot of brushes, because I never know which one to use. We're going to use this one. I'm going to use the brush, and we're going to make some green out of that leftover blue. I need more water, but I'm not going to interrupt the video to go get it. If any of you are nearby, you can bring me a little bit of water. Here's our yellow. Here's what's left of our blue. Put about the same amount of yellow in there. Take our brush, and it's still got some gesso and some white paint on it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. This is about being a kid and not caring about the rules. Now look at that. See? Beautiful color green. Right there. All the green we could want. And instead of brushing it on, I think I want to make a mess with it. I'm just taking the brush, loading it up with some paint. Got a good layer of paint on it there. Are we focused? Yeah, we're focused pretty good. And then turn the big pile of paint down towards your paper. Don't hit it. You can hit it on the top or you can hit it on the bottom. I think I had a pair of parachute pants back in the 80s that looked like that. And just have fun with it. And you don't even have to worry if it looks like a happy tree or whatever. I'm thinking this looks like a bird walked on a freshly painted bench and then shook his head. See? And that's easy. That's all there is to it. Okay? Any questions so far? How are we doing? Rescue Rangers, did I miss someone? Hi, Amy. Hello, Amy. Good to see you. Amy is Queen of Trivia. T. Marie is the Queen of Harry Potter stuff. It's Joey's World. Every Wednesday, Joey's World has a video that comes out that is just absolutely wonderfully hilarious. I love Joey, and I love his take on the world. Where to put my sticks? There they are. Yeah, so if you, moderators, if you can drop links for T. Marie and... yeah, if you want your link in the chat, we'll figure it out. Because I want to link to all you wonderful people, because you all do wonderful things on YouTube. And we're a community. Alright, we'll stop looking at the sticks. We'll pick our next stick, and our next stick says black. But it doesn't have a technique for putting the black down. But you know, I think this needs a circle. So, I think I'm going to use the same green pan because it won't matter, because black covers everything. I'll put some black down, and spatula back out. Wipe it off with my rag. I can't wait till we get to making some cards. And like I said, I use these for projects where I'm not able to go grab some paper from the store or anything like that. I'm just flattening it out because I'm going to make circles and I need a flat paint space. And you don't have to have special dishes. You can use, the Dollar Tree sells Rubbermaid and plastic containers. You know, whatever you got, a plastic saucer. And the good thing about this acrylic paint is if you let it dry, it will peel up off of most surfaces. Or if it's still wet, you take and rinse it real quick and it will clean up easy. If it gets on your hands, wash them real good with soap and a washcloth. Gets on your clothes, you know. Anyway, got my circle. I like to go off the page too. Gives it that continuity. And the thing about this is, yeah, when you look at the big picture of it, you see all these, you know, you can see every part of it. But understand, we're going to be cutting this up, so you're only going to be seeing maybe that much of it in one sitting, and that much of it. So it will come together very nicely. And don't worry if you get a whole bunch of paint on there. I mean, this is for fun. This is to create. And I hope you notice I don't have any special techniques. I don't have any special supplies. Anybody can do this. If you find that you have some anxiety about starting it, take a minute, and if you don't have kids, find a kid and watch them sit and play. They don't follow rules because they don't need rules, and you don't either. It's not about creating something beautiful and meaningful. It's about enjoying being creative. So our next stick says use a stamp. Oh, Now, I understand that not everybody has stamps, so this is where your makeup sponge comes in. I'm going to use this as my stamp, and I need another color. Mike 88 NYC, good to see you. Glad you're here. Have I greeted everybody? Yeah. Okay, we need another color. First color I see in chat will be the color that I use. And remember, we've got all the colors here. I can make any color. Well, not any color. I can't make like fluorescent pink or Dago blue, but any color Next color that comes up in the chat. Pink. Oh, cool. You know, I'm going to use a little of this gesso to make me some pink. And I'm going to pour about half of it in there. Whoop. And then, let's make pink. Let's see, we're just going to do, I think that's going to be enough. And I'm going to use that spatula, it's got black on it. And let's just, this coffee stirrer. And a neat little trick, if you like those swirlies, you don't have to mix it till it's all mixed in. I kind of like the swirlies in it, so I'm going to do the swirlies. But with stamping with the makeup brush, I will show you this little trick. You're going to need another little container because you don't want to get too much paint on there or it just gets weird. So I'm going to dip my thing in there. You'll see it's loaded up. Then I'm going to take my clean surface and just kind of flatten it down. That's kind of a translucent pink because I used the gesso, which has got the clear glue mixture in it. I'm going to do that one again. Whoa! Whoops! We should get a whole bunch of pink on it. Fix that. There we go. See? Everything. There's no fixing mistakes because you don't make mistakes. Happy accidents. Isn't that what Bob Ross used to call them? Happy accidents. Yeah, I definitely had a pair of parachute pants in the 80s that looked like this. I am liking this. This is coming out so nice. Anyway, where am I putting all my things? Okay. Alright, brush. Oh, I didn't put stamp back in there, did I? No. I put this here to take place of stamp. So. This is so fun. And so next week, we're going to do this again at the same time. And hopefully you can run around your house and gather up the stuff. I will put a short list of my supplies, what I use, in the description of the video. And guess I need to get a Facebook group for notices and stuff because the community tab doesn't work for me yet in YouTube, but eventually someday it will. For now, we just do this. Let's see. How do we feel? Do we need more pink? What do you think? Bootsy sweethearts, nice to see you. I am so glad you're here. Oh, all my old time friends coming in. Isn't this something? Alright, I think that's enough pink for now, so I'm gonna call that good on the pink. Let's draw another stick. Hopefully we'll draw the stamp so we can get that out of there. Alright, this one says a square. Ooh, I already used my square. Shall we count the pink squares as 2 items? What do you think in the chat? Let's see. Shall we count the pink squares as squares and the stamp? Or shall we do different squares in another color? I'm going to take a sip of my tea. I strongly recommend you have yourself a cup of herbal tea. This is chamomile and lavender, courtesy of my beautiful daughter. Thank you. I'm almost out, Aya. You need to bring some more when you come. No, I'm joking. I have plenty. Alright, sure. Tina Marie says, sure, we can count the squares as both, and that will keep us moving. because we gotta hurry up and finish here. We may not do all 10 today. Next one says blue. We've already used blue. We're gonna get through these fast. I looked at that one before I picked it. This one says use the stencil. So, I will show you my, let's see, we've got a nice, how are we going to do this? Usually what I do if I have stencils at this point, I have alcohol ink that I made myself that I will do a tutorial on that in a few weeks. And I will spray, but since I don't, I need to figure out how to do a stencil. Or, if you don't have a stencil, let's do this. I don't want to use that big stencil, so I've taken a circle of paper. I'm going to use that as my stencil. And I am going to make some purple out of my pink. Let's get some more pink in here. Better yet, I'll just do it in here and put a little blue. A little bit of blue. There we go. Blue, blue. Got another coffee stir. Mix that up. How we doing on time? Alright, we got about 10 more minutes here. We'll be done by then. Oh, that's a pretty lavender. Ooh. And I just splashed some lavender on there. No big deal. It's fine. Because I'll just take and put my little stencil down here. And I'm going to use a brush. You can use a stencil brush, you can use your sponge, you can use whatever you want. I'm doing it this way. I'm going to stencil around like that. And yeah, it's messing up what's underneath, but that's okay because, like I said, it's supposed to be cut up and used for backgrounds on cards, for backgrounds for scrapbooking pages. This isn't, you know, this isn't meant to be art that you frame or, I mean, I've been known to hang mine on the fridge. Look at that interesting green blotchy thing we got going there. I like that. Oh yeah. And yeah, you're doing layers of wet paint on layers of wet paint. Let's see, where else do we need one? Out right here. And I like this art because you can do it with your kids. You can do it with your partner. You can do it with your next door neighbor. You can have a home paint and sip where you invite your friends over, put out, excuse the fireworks. They're still shooting them off. They were shooting them off till 3 o'clock this morning. Anyway, you can host a painty paper party and have desserts and a bottle of wine and everybody sit down and get, you know, get painty with stuff. There we go. Now, it looks like a hot mess, but it's a nice background. You're going to cut it up. And this little stencil we used, put it over here with the makeup sponge to get rid of it. Let me check the chat. That is true. Make what a wild card, your choice. Yeah, I'm adding to my sticks. I've done some research online, but it seems that these prompt sticks and stuff, they're kind of considered, I don't know, hush hush secret. Nobody likes to share their prompts, but I'm gonna get more. Oh wow. Can you see that one? Well, it's backwards for you. I don't know. It's red. It says red. What on earth are we gonna do with red? Maybe some red lines. Red lines. Let's make some red lines. Get another little dish here. Or we'll make some little bitty red circles. I got a coffee stir here. Nope, that's not gonna work. We'll just make little red circles. One time I needed a circle shape, and the only thing I could find was a glue stick. So I made penny papers with a glue stick. But can you see how relaxing this is? And you can make the prompts to suit you. If you don't like having to choose anything, you can make them that say red stamp, or green circles or whatever. But see how easy this is? It's fun and it's economical. Because I think if you look hard, you can use finger paint to do this. And you can find finger paint recipes online. I think I even saw a gluten-free finger paint recipe, which is cool for those of us who are gluten-free. There you go. Let's see. I'll pick one more prompt and then I will wrap it up for today, folks. And I am so happy. That said circles. I'll just show you the rest of the prompts. I think that's good. I like that. I can't wait to use it. This one says stamp. That's our stamp one. This one says lines. This one says yellow, sponge, orange, circles, green, purple, and fingers. Fingers are fun too. So, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out. If you have any questions, you can speak now, or you can contact me on my social medias. I'm on Instagram, I'm Pro Manhattan. On Twitter, I believe I'm Pro Manhattan. Email is down below. That is promanhattanmusic@gmail.com. I have a web page that has links to my Etsy store where I sell my paintings, also to my music and where you can listen to it through Spotify or Apple iTunes, or where you can buy it on Amazon. You can also buy copies of my CDs, hard copies, through Konaki. There's a link on my webpage that takes you there. Sign up for my fan club, and you will get email notices of new things that are coming out. Soon I will have a Patreon page, but I want to get some original content up there first. That's where I will be showcasing private concerts with music that I can't play on YouTube because they will copyright strike me. Speaking of music on YouTube, I am live on YouTube 3 times a week. This time slot will always be Healing Through Art. We will be making mixed media collage, we'll be making cards, we'll be making painty papers, we'll be doing all sorts of creative stuff, and just being a little kid for an hour and being creative. Then on Wednesdays at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time is My Music Story. This month and the next 3 months, I will be showcasing my songwriting process and how I write the music that I do and how I produce it and things like that. And then on Friday nights, I know it's late for you East Coasters, but there's always the replay that you can watch at your leisure. For the months of July, August, and September, I will be showcasing the songs that I write for 5090, the Songwriting Challenge. I'll be showcasing those at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific for 1 hour live broadcast of new music that nobody's ever heard before. So be sure and tune in for that. If you're interested in supporting the channel, I am currently open for sponsorships. Contact me and we can talk. What a sponsorship does is get your logo and your channel name listed on my broadcast as I'm live, and also gets you a special thanks and a Patreon membership to my Patreon page. Also, I have my PayPal address below. I don't ask for donations, but if you feel led to donate, it's always appreciated. I got some nice donations from the concert, and that paid my internet bill for this month. So everything that I get donation-wise or sales through my Etsy shop is available. Goes directly back into supporting my son and I. And I need the internet connection so I can go live. Let me see. All right, no questions? A special thanks tonight to Dean at the Live Place. The Live Place is home base to over 110 live streamers of family-friendly content ranging from travel, lifestyle, crafting, art, music, disabilities, and just some of them just stream to put a smile on your face. Check out theliveplace.com. You'll quit watching regular TV. It is your TV guide or your listings guide for all things family friendly live on the YouTube. And thanks for being here tonight. So happy to see all of you. Please stay safe and take care of yourself, and I wish you all peace and peace to those you love. Good night.